Good morning, everybody. What we're doing today is we're going to do some aluminum welding. We got some ASTM B209 base material. We have 53, 56, 035 GMAW wire. We're going to be running 100% argon for our gas. And the goal for today is to figure out how to weld these two square butt edges together and get 100% penetration. On 1/8" material, it's really tough to do. And since you're not able to be here in our class, I'm looking for you guys to help me set the machine from where we have it and to get a good weld out of it. I haven't run this machine yet. I didn't want to do anything with it until I was with you so that you guys can help me work through it. And then that'll give you an idea of how to set the machine a little bit more before you get to come back. And the biggest thing is our setup. We have 035 wire. We have a push-pull gun that has a 25-foot lead on it. If you see it, it's wrapped all the way around the shear and comes back around to here to make sure it's as straight as possible. I have an alcohol wipe. The alcohol's over there, so it's out of the way and safe. But I'm going to wipe everything down with alcohol and weld it. I don't want to use the stainless steel wire brush if I don't have to. The biggest thing is we are doing some testing to find out how to get this so we can work with the company and get them to a point where they can do the same setup. And at some point, I'm going to want to try some solar flux. It's built for stainless steel, but I have friends that have done testing on it with to make sure it didn't hurt the aluminum to use it. They said they had real good results with it. So what we'll do is we'll get this set up where it's working pretty well. If we can't get to 100%, we're going to run the solar flux, and then we'll actually cut it up and do some tensils on it to make sure we're not hurting the strength of the material. So just remember, I haven't pulled the trigger on this yet. And with this setup, we're going to be running a pulse. I think we're on 152 for the mode for our power MIG. That's GMAW pulse for aluminum. So on the machine, we get to set our trim. And what else we got? We got and wire feed. And the wire feed is actually controlled from right here, right next to my trigger. So I can turn the wire feed up and down right from the gun. Okay, I've got gas coverage. So what I'm going to do first, being a spare solid wire, I'm going to be pushing it all the time. I'm not going to drag. Aluminum does not like to be drugged. So I'm going to actually just get on here and then I'm going to just weld across just to see where we're at. I have no idea what the setting is, other than it's close to what the company is. Thank you. Watch your eyes. Okay, so what I was doing, I wanted to start from the start and go all the way to the end to see how the heat was going to react with it, the setting, and find out what direction I have to go with the setting. Okay, so I have a bead. I run it down through, usually with CV, GMAW with the aluminum, I'll do sort of a whipping action where I'll get in there and I'll go back and forth and work on down through. But with the pulsing, I like to do less of that. I think we're going to need to turn, trim up a hair and to get it to flatten out a hair. But the start was a little cold. It went in pretty good towards the end. I didn't get a lot of penetration. And the big thing to remember, when we're working and you see aluminum around the shop, always want to wear gloves. Aluminum doesn't show that it's hot like steel does. So you can actually, if I walked away, somebody come over and pick this up, barehanded, they're going to lose the skin on their hand, they're going to get burned. So always take the time if you're at a weld shop, make sure you have your gloves on and don't pick anything up without proper PPE. Okay,
1 second. All right.
Okay, could you turn the trim up there? I'm going to stay with this plate that's already warm. I just don't want to waste a lot of plates. What's that?
103, 104.
105. Let's see where we're at. We'll go from there. Okay, watch your eye. Okay, it looks a little better, but we're getting a little light on the wire. We get a little too hot. So, anybody have any ideas what I should do next? We tried to trim a little bit, brought it up and warmed it up. Anybody want to throw out some ideas? I can't read them from here if they have any.
Alrighty.
Now with CV, it would be easier to give me a start, but I'm not going to get the penetration like I will with the pulse. So I'm going to stick with pulse. I'm getting too much penetration now. The plate's getting hot. So I'm definitely going to want to switch to another plate. And I'll just bounce back and forth with these plates. I want to bump the wire feet up here.
How much?
10.
Can't. You have to control it on the gun.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you when.
You're going up?
Nope. It's not moving. Now you are. Oh, now you're up about 15.
Okay. Good there?
It's 249.
Now with pulse, we have our trim set usually at a certain point, and as we turn the wire, the machine will automatically go with it a little bit and make other changes. What I'm looking for is on a cold plate to get a decent start. We'll go from there. Watch your eye. Okay, now we're getting more penetration. Start's still a little cold. So what I'm going to want to do there, let's try it on warm plates and see where we're at with penetration. Watch your eyes. Then on long runs and stuff, things that matter, we would put more tags and we would clean better. Watch your eyes. getting close. But the biggest thing I see the problem is going to be is with aluminum, when we clean it, we take off a layer of oxide usually, and then as it gets exposed to the atmosphere, it creates a layer instantly. And I think on the back side, even if I can push it through, we're going to see there's a white seam right even on this 5 penetration part. There's a seam there. I think that's when the oxides are together and it's not going to bond because the oxide is going to keep the two pieces separate. But we're close there. What's that? On a hot plate just because I want to get the best penetration I can. Then once we get going, we'll try and find a setting that starts well from room temperature. What I'm going to try is a whipping motion, or actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to get here and I'm weld. We'll just do sort of like little circles, or some people do C's. Watch your eyes. Okay, with whipping and CV, that's where we come up with the stack of dimes look. And this is not comfortable doing it with this. I just don't feel, it doesn't feel the same way. The wire feed's a little softer than whenever we're on CV. But what it does, it causes stacking look. It's a little cold, and we're not getting the penetration on the cooler plates with that other tool there. And sometime we're just gonna turn things up, get a little more amperage. This is yes. So right now we're trying pulse. I want to try pulse on pulse. So we're going to set the machine up for thing. If we keep working with warm plates, and then we actually go and try the test on cold plates or room temperature plates, we're going to find that it's not going to weld the same. But I don't want to keep grabbing new and burning up the good plates. I want to watch how much I use. So I'm going to work with this. I could cool it, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to find a setting I like. Now with pulse on pulse, it's set up so that actually we get started and we're going to run straight across. And the pulse on pulse creates should create our stack look. And the stack look is usually what the GTAW welding looked like, and they try to copy that with the GMAW. So, and that's where these come in there. It's faster than GTAW, and more production equals more money. So here I go. Watch your eyes. Okay, and the goal with this is why I'm not using this wire brush much is because the parts that get welded in production cannot have the scratches on the surface. And I am trying to fill my crater in a little bit, but it's getting so hot by the time I get to the end, definitely got more penetration there. Since we got that kind of penetration, I'm going to go to the cold piece. I'm gonna try it and run right down the middle and see what we're getting at there. Watch your eyes. Yeah, I'm not getting a good creator flow. I played with settings in there, but I didn't want to do too much with it. I'm not happy with that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get around that. I don't like pulse. I haven't liked pulse on pulse a whole lot every time that I've got to use it.
You really don't think we can just use straight CV?
I'd like to try straight CV.
Want to do it?
Yep. So now we're going to try straight CV. Just to get an idea of where we're at, what we're doing, and then we're going to go from there. So what we're doing, we don't need a perfect weld. We're going to get as best we can and do some testing on it. But what we want to do is have an idea when we get to this company to be like, hey, we'll try it their way. We'll play with some of their settings. They have a little higher end machine.
Crank that wire up. You're at 148 right now.
Okay. Should be around 19,250.
Do you want to? Do you want it at? I was gonna put you at like 21 and 250.
Okay.
All right. Well, hold on. Sorry, you're at 293 now. 285. 278. 265. 255. 4.
That's good. Okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to stay into a parameter set by what's already being used. I don't have good information on it. I'm working with a third party that's just telling me what he knows from what he visited there, and then we're helping a third party to help the first place. So we're going to try different things, and we're going to try and stay in the 250 wire feed range, and then we'll go from there. And in the end, we can change it, but we don't want to change anything here because we don't know their equipment yet. Their equipment's brand new. They have special aluminum programs in their machine. They're using a PowerWave 500, is that? I think PowerWave 500 with STT and with special aluminum programming for waveform. And so what this is doing is actually getting me set up to know more of what to expect and see how we can help. Like I said, I don't like using the brush much because they're not going to be able to on their products. Watch your eyes. Okay, one thing.
You know what?
The slow running is on. It should be like 100. I set the slow running so whenever I pull the trigger, the wire comes out real slow so it doesn't hit with a lot of force.
That's at 60. Let's turn it off.
Okay. But sometimes what it does is cause a bounce at the start if we've got full wire feed. I just didn't want it to hit it and then arc back and catch into the tip. We're going to turn it off.
I turned your start off too.
Okay. Yeah, because we tried a hot start, so whenever we would start it, we put a little more heat for 2 seconds and then flatten out. Okay, watch your eyes. We're not good. We want, with aluminum on CV, our constant voltage, we want it to crackle, quiet, so we're pretty warm. We're going to want to bring the voltage down.
19.
Oh, we're getting good penetration. Watch your eyes. And actually, it wouldn't look bad if it weren't for all that spatter from the wire blowing apart. Watch your eyes.
It is being recorded on a different computer, JJ.
Here we go. Okay, I'm not liking the gas coverage. We turn the gas flow up. I can get it.
Let me check their other two real quick.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of noise over there.
So right now we're destroying this plate right here, and so like what I was saying, I want to waste as little amount of plates as I can to get a good setting, and then I'll start and a good process. And remember, our CV is one process, and then we go to pulse is another process, and then we go to the other types of pulse. So we got a few things to figure out first, and then I'm going to actually concentrate on getting 100% and burning more plates. The biggest thing is I don't want to take all the plates for the students by the time you get back, because if you get a chance to run this, I want you to have some plates to use. And so far, I'm learning a lot about what to expect, and so we're gonna be pretty well off to get started when we get to the other company to play with their equipment.
Can you guys kind of hear okay, or is it real like muffled, or I'll hold this up here more? All right, I'm gonna hold this up here, see if it'll be a little bit better.
Got your buds. Okay, I turned the gas flow up. I didn't like how it was welding at all on CV. And if you have any ideas, I'm here for you guys to help me set up, actually. The important thing is that I want you guys, give me an idea. We're on straight on GMAW, CV. Our controls are wire feed. That controls our amperage. We got volts. We're 19 volts now?
Yes.
250 some wire feed?
252, something like that, yeah.
Yes. So if you're doing this for me, what would you do next? I mean, I'm going to run this a little more. Yeah, I think the gas coverage was an issue.
Let's get a little bit closer.
Okay, watch your eyes. Much better with the gas coverage. Turn the wire feed up in here.
263.
But 035 wire to me is, it just seems awful small. I'm used to like 3/64 for aluminum. It's a little easier to set, but I'm worried that feeding this small of a wire could be part of the problem. Watch your eye. It's still a little higher.
18.5? 18.5?
Oh, I'm gonna just turn the wire off until I get it. Just not seeing what I like. I'm getting a lot of burn off from the wires. Melt them before it gets to the bottom. Watch your eyes. One thing I worry about letting the tip stop the wire like that It's because if I get the coil up in the machine, then I've got to take 25 feet of this wire and throw it away. So definitely, we're good yet. Oh, maybe not. I think we got a wire feed problem. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pause for a little bit. I want to work on the machine and see if there's a wire feed problem, because it's definitely not feeding correctly. Want to pause that, and then we'll pull everything off of the way.
Oh yeah, your bird's nested. It's ripped. Here, let me show you what this looks like.
Okay, give me this.
Hold on. There. Take that. Got it.
Everything's a little hot for this over here.
Let me pause.
You can see that. You see the set of rolls in here? The wire is going to feed through, catch these rolls, and it's going to push through. So these sort of assist the push from the machine, and then they pull it through. So we get push-pull system. I'm going to get out here. I want to make sure it goes through well.
Don't forget, you guys still all have Tooling U, SP2, and Smart Futures as well. And any missing assignments.
Tips on the machine?
Yep.
The whole time we were welding, I kept getting the idea that we're having wire feed problems. I think we were. I'm hoping we fixed it with another new tip. But all part of welding is actually working with something, and if there's something wrong, it's trying to figure out how to get it to work properly. And then we move on and get things done. What's that?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see where we're at. Watch your eyes. Turn the wire feed over here.
How much?
Now we're exceeding parameters of what they're running, but now I just want to get this to run okay.
You're at 319.
Watch your eyes.
Don't sound bad, but
It don't look too bad. It's not going to be a setting we're going to use. I just want to actually get, for my personal liking, the setting of it. Because we definitely will be using a pulse pipe. And the nice thing is, when we use the new machine, it has AC setting on for the AC GMAW. I'm really curious about checking that out because the penetration is going to be more controlled. It's going to be pretty neat to check out and try it. Let's pause here for a little bit, and then we'll talk about this some more and decide what direction we're going to go next.